Ticket to Hindu Heaven. The fact that self-realization is the goal of yoga is clearly stated by one of the greatest yogis to come to the West. Nor are these Yogananda's ideas alone, but the basic teaching of all yogis, though often unknown to or suppressed by Western yoga teachers. Yoga's popularity continues to grow under the claim that it is simply physical exercises scientifically designed to be beneficial to health. Many yoga instructors are probably ignorant of the true nature of yoga, but such ignorance would have to be willful. The truth about yoga is readily available on the Internet and in numerous books. The motive for denying the truth is not difficult to imagine. It would be very bad for business. Not many Westerners would become involved in yoga if they knew that it lies at the heart of the religion of Hinduism, and its goal is simply to realize that one is a god, fulfilling the serpent's lie to Eve. The average Westerner practicing yoga, and perhaps some of those teaching it, would be surprised to learn that the religious ritual of yoga was introduced by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita as the sure way to Hindu heaven. Nor is it generally understood that Shiva, one of the most feared Hindu deities, known as the Destroyer, is addressed in ancient Hindu texts as Yogeshwara, or Lord of Yogis, a title that is also borne by Krishna. Why are the vast majority of Westerners who are involved in yoga ignorant of such basic facts when they ought to be made aware of them by their yoga instructors? The indisputable Hindu foundation of every style of yoga, no matter how physical or thoroughly westernized, is carefully avoided. On one hand, to admit its religious nature would drive away most of the customers. And on the other hand, many yoga instructors may be ignorant of the truth, having been deceived themselves. They then pass their own misinformation unwittingly on to their pupils, just as they were deceitfully denied the truth when they first became involved. Even when its Hindu origin is acknowledged, which is rare, yoga is passed off as having nothing to do with Hinduism as a religion, because it can be practiced by those who follow any faith, or none. Hearing occasional references to Patanjali's 2nd century BC Yoga Sutras, the Westerner assumes that Patanjali was an early Indian Plato or Einstein. In fact, Hindus regard him as one of their greatest spiritual leaders. Patanjali declared, quote, "Yoga is the control and cessation of the constant fluctuation and modifications of the mind. By constant practice and detachment are these activities of the mind stuff to be brought to stillness, or through deep meditation on the Supreme Spirit. In the blissful liberation of the soul, the individual self is the subject's, the selves or God's, power established in its own true innate nature," end quote. Thinking they are buying health, millions are unwittingly getting entangled in Hinduism. Believing they are being taught scientific practices, yoga enthusiasts, unaware of the deception, are led into dangerous Eastern religious beliefs and rituals that are designed to introduce them to the occult. Rare indeed is the yoga instructor who mentions, even in passing, the many warnings contained in ancient texts that hatha, the so-called physical yoga, like every other kind, is a dangerous tool.